So do you ever get that feeling that you need to achieve more, that you should have achieved more by now, that you feel that perhaps time is running out and there's just so much to do and so much to achieve, and perhaps you look and you compare yourself to other people, because we're massively indoctrinated to compare ourselves to other people, and then to feel bad if we perceive ourselves to not measure up to where other people are in their lives. And that's really not serving our highest good. That acts to really chip away at our confidence, our self-worth, and it's quite damaging for the self. And it's also not the truth of who we are, because we are worthy, we are enough. We have just forgotten that, and we have just been massively indoctrinated to think the opposite of what we really are, which is a multidimensional being. So we are enough, and we are reconnecting back to that as the consciousness of the planet is shifting, as our consciousness is shifting. So if we do feel like that, if we feel like we haven't achieved enough or we need to achieve more, then I've got a really lovely simple exercise that you can do, because often the truth is we've all grown massively on this journey, because it's impossible not to grow in this earth school through the challenges that every single person faces. Everyone faces challenges, be that in jobs, relationships, family, and we all face challenges, difficult periods, painful periods that mean that we grow and we expand, and also joyful periods that mean that we grow and expand. And often those growth periods are incremental, and we don't realize just how far we have come because we forget to stop, take a breath, and appreciate ourselves and appreciate what we have done and what we have learned. So as the photo on this video depicts, I've got an amazing plant in my house that I'd taken a photo of in March 2020, and then I was looking at it recently, July 2020, if we're still in earlier on in the month, and I just realised how much that plant had grown, and I took a picture of it. Well, actually, no, I didn't realise how much it had grown. I knew it had grown, and I took a picture of it. And then I was flipping through my photos, and I noticed the picture from March 2020, and then I realised, wow, it's grown so much more than I actually even appreciated. And that had me thinking about us and our journey, and how often we're too busy looking, thinking we've got to do more, be more, achieve more, that we forget to take a step back and appreciate ourselves and appreciate the growth we have already created in our lives. So this exercise was first shown to me by a guy called Vishen Lakhani. I think that's right. He is the CEO of Mind Valley. And this exercise is called the reverse gap exercise. And it's a fantastic exercise to do, to just really appreciate how far and remind yourself of how far and how much growth you've already achieved. And this will help build your confidence, your self-esteem, and allow you just to be a little bit kinder to yourself and realize that you are making progress. And you're not gonna run out of time, because we are eternal beings, and we do have the time to slow down and take a step back. In fact, when we do that, we grow faster anyway. Okay, so the exercise is called the reverse gap exercise, and what you do is, as shown on the screen now, you would write the years for the last 5 years. So we're looking at the last 5 years and the growth in the last 5 years. And then what you do is basically just think about those years and think about the things that you achieved during those years, and just plot them on under the years. Now, obviously with the one I'm showing you, I've only put a few things on, but really go into detail. And as you start to do this, you'll start to remember the things that you have achieved and the growth that you have made in these last 5 years. So you can put as much on here as you want, as you can. You can go into as much detail as you can. And like I say, as you start, more things will flow into your consciousness, and you'll realize just how far you have come, the progress that you have made. And you can really appreciate that about yourself. You can be proud of the steps that you've taken. And as you can see with a couple of the examples that I've put on, this doesn't just need to be restricted to work. It can obviously obviously it can be about, as I've stated, a project that I was proud of that really took me out of my comfort zone, and really allowed me to stretch and find out a lot of things about myself that I didn't know, and build a lot more confidence and courage. To things like, you can see that I've mentioned about, relationships, how I've built stronger relationships with my brother in particular over the challenges of 2020, 21, 22. It's allowed us to get closer, more vulnerable, open up more, to really talk about what has been happening from a higher spiritual perspective. So you can see, I open my own business, you can put on all sorts of things. It can be about qualities that you have developed over the last few years, because we've all lived through 2020, 21, 22, and they have been exceptionally challenging years for everybody. And likely many people went through massive, great change. And this change can be things like divorce, and we don't need to see divorce as a bad thing. So if you have gone through something like that, this can be something that's really developed. I asked you to go really deep into who you really are, and really, really develop those qualities of courage, of respect for the self, of moving more into the authentic self, so we can really plot the qualities and the characteristics that the last few years have helped us to develop as well. So it doesn't need to be promotions, but it can be. So really just get everything on there where you felt growth in the past few years. And from doing that, when you finish the exercise, which can take literally 5 or 10 minutes, once you do the exercise, it just changes your energy. It makes you feel good about yourself. It lifts up your self-esteem, your self-worth, and it really helps to increase your confidence. So I really recommend doing this exercise, at least every couple of years. So you can just take a moment, give yourself permission to celebrate all of those successes, all of that growth, whether that growth came through challenges or through joy. Thank you.